Hey folks, how are you? A little bit of a follow-up on the video I did earlier on. Can a story actually change your life? Interesting concept, isn't it? And if you think about how we've told ourselves stories over the ages, it really brings into some life exactly the kind of thing and the kind of power that stories have over us. And later on in this little video, I'm going to be talking about a particular syndrome that we all, or a lot of us, suffer from in the workplace that is based on how we tell ourselves these stories. So a story is basically how we recount something that either has or might happen. And we do it all the time, even in the simplest conversations. Think about the last time you had a conversation with somebody and they said something and you were automatically off on a tangent. Happens all the time. I know I did it a couple of weeks back when somebody said to me, you're supposed to be doing this. And I automatically went down there, am I? I'm sure nobody's told me that. Really? Is that my responsibility? And you just go on this whole journey, if you like, and thinking that, well, if that's supposed to be the case, then who should have told me? You know what it's like, I'm sure. So, stories can be really powerful. And they can be conversations, they can be age-old stories, and I think I mentioned Little Red Riding Hood in the video that I did earlier on in the week. And if you actually look up some of the meaning behind Little Red Riding Hood, it's actually quite a scary story. And the meaning behind it is interesting. Let's just leave it at that. So I talked about earlier on, can a story change your life? Well, apparently it can. The way you tell a story, the way your narrative unfolds, the way you look at something can have a huge difference on your mindset and on the mindset of others. Take the example of the kids who, when their teacher told them that they were the tidiest class in the school, they reacted to that and they actually became the tidiest class in the school. It's that self-fulfilling prophecy. It's that giving them a reputation to live up to that they actually managed to do. There's a further twist to that story where one teacher was told that 3 of his or her pupils were the brightest in the class. They were the ones that were the most engaged, the hardest working, and the cleverest. And he or she should give them the attention that deserved. They did. As a result, these 3 kids came on leaps and bounds. They were absolutely brilliant. And it turns out that actually the 3 kids were no brighter or more hardworking or no more engaged than any of the other kids in the class. Again, because that story was told, it really had that effect of just galvanizing what everybody was thinking. There's also an interesting story, and whether this one's true or not, I have no idea, about a group of cleaners who were told that if they used the stairs instead of the lift, they'd burn more calories, lose more weight than their counterparts, and apparently that worked too. Again, it's all in the power of the mind. It's very interesting to see how it works. There's a really interesting one that I read about a lady who found the credit card bill for her husband's credit card, and on it was a bill for a motel, a local motel. And she told herself this story that her husband was having an affair. She couldn't remember anything about it, but he was definitely having an affair, etc. And she took herself down this whole path. She confronted her husband about it, and he was shocked, horrified, didn't know. He investigated, or they investigated, and it turns out it was for a local restaurant who was part of the same business group as this motel, who had actually used their card reader for the night, which is why it had set up and why it had showed up on the credit card bill as that particular charge. So again, telling themselves those stories and actually getting to the bottom of what's really going on is vitally important. So what stories are you telling yourself? Think about imposter syndrome. It's huge. You will read about it everywhere. You'll get that whole, well, am I not doing a good job? I'm not getting any feedback. I should be doing this. I should be so much better. I know I'm guilty of it. I think I'm doing, good, bad, or indifferent. And I always think, oh, I should be doing this so much better. I should be so much further on. I should be doing so much more. And I know I'm not the same. And this is, again, a story that I'm telling myself. And you're probably telling yourself something similar. Have a think about that and just see how that pans out in the future. Like and subscribe to the channel. Drop some comments in the box below and let me know what you think. Have a fantastic day. See you soon. Bye.